Hey babes. I wanted to talk about grief and how it holds us back from being the woman that we are meant to be. Grief, it could be losing loved ones, losing a relationship, losing a job. No matter what, grief is a difficult process, and it involves a lot of letting go of and releasing stories and patterns and ideas and beliefs that aren't really going to be able to be a part of our future life. And if you lose a loved one, there's this remembering of memories and of these moments. And sadly, we aren't able to take them into the future. And we have to learn to respect them and honor them now in a new way. When you go through a breakup, there's all of the things that you were together with this person, and now you relearning what it means to be without them in the future. You lose a job, maybe you've been working the same job, you've been doing corporate business for years, and now that is your perspective. That's who you've been. You now have to let go of, release, and learn a new version of yourself. Grief is difficult. It's tricky, and it's not the same for all of us. It's an unlearning of what was and a becoming of what we are meant to be. So when we go through this process of grief, what's really happening is that we are shifting our identity. When one of our dreams that we have fails, or something we love is lost, something we've cherished is broken or taken away, we have to shift our identity. And oftentimes we are not fully capable of shifting our identity, and it keeps us stuck. Us trying to hold on and cling on to what was becomes an issue in us reaching our dream life. You would be surprised at how much mourning your old self for too long can keep you stuck and prevent you from moving into a new version of yourself, an empowered version of yourself. We get stuck in these fears of failure, of death, of loss, and we don't give ourselves the space to actually grieve it and let go. In fact, oftentimes we get stuck in the same mindset because we've been there for so long that we keep trying to repeat the cycle of who we were when we will never be able to be that person ever again. It's scary to move forward, but that's exactly where your dream life is waiting. It is waiting when you give yourself the space. Your dream self can't thrive in a mind full of unresolved grief. The first step to healing from this grief and actually feeling this is recognizing that it's there. It's okay to grieve. Grief is just misplaced gratitude. So this pain you feel, this loss you feel, is actually just showing you how grateful that you were to be a part of this, to be a part of your job, to be a part of the opportunity, that they were a part of yours. We love them so much and are so grateful for what they brought into our life. And we experienced them for so long that it's hard to relate to a life without that. When I lost my dad in 2018, it was really hard. I felt stuck. I felt numb, and I stayed in that place for entirely too long. I let that victim mentality of that grief, of that pain, allow me to stop taking care of myself, and I started neglecting myself. When we let grief cause us to neglect ourselves instead of push us forward, then we're really not just disappointing ourselves and our future selves, but we're disappointing the loved one. I would not be somebody that my father would be proud of if I were to fall into a pit of despair, because I'm alive and for him. in memory of him, because I'm so grateful for him. I'm so grateful for the lessons that he taught me. I'm now doing this. So how did I process grief? Stage 1 is recognizing that it sucks, man. Losing things sucks. Having to let go of a dream that died sucks. Not knowing where you're headed next because this whole idea, this identity of who you were is just gone. Oh, it sucks, right? We can accept that. But what did we learn from this? If our dream died, we realized maybe it wasn't really the dream. Maybe it wasn't really the opportunity that was meant for us. If we feel like we're going through this crazy identity shift, maybe our old identity that served us for a time actually was just keeping us in survival mode. And what we want to do is thrive, not survive, my love. When you realize that it's okay to change, we can shift our identity then and move forward. We can make our loved ones proud. We can take what we learned from our previous occupation, from our previous opportunities that didn't work out. We can learn and move forward using the tools and the skills that we didn't have before. And sometimes it takes this grieving process to realize those tools, right? Sometimes it takes the pain to start a snowball effect of transformation in our life, and we can utilize grief as a catalyst instead of letting us be victims. When I lost my dad, it was really hard, and I didn't have support. So if you're grieving, one thing you really need is support. And I think I might say that in every single video, no matter what topic. You need a support system. Every single thing is harder without a support system. So I was struggling and I was stuck for so long healing because I didn't know how to heal. I didn't have the availability to heal. I didn't have a safety net. I didn't have people around me that would have understood and let me feel. And I suppressed all of my feelings and dove into work. Now, that's not healthy. Okay, that's going to keep us stuck too. We have to feel the emotions. So accepting that it hurts and it sucks, and that's okay. We need to feel it 100%, acknowledge it, feel it fully. Express everything. Even if it sounds silly, even the silliest thing, even if you need to start bawling because of the way somebody used to make you a coffee, because of the way somebody used to say your name, if you need to break down over the silliest things, do it, feel it. Then when we actually let ourselves process those emotions, we need to recalibrate. Take a look, see what you learned. What did you lose? What did you learn from this loss? What did it teach you? What did it remind you of? What did it make you want to do? What did it inspire within you? What did it push forward in your mind? Sometimes it could be a certain thing happened in a specific way, and now you have this passion to not let other people deal with that. And in my case, I lost my dad. And I hate the idea of anybody struggling through that pain the way that I did, alone, isolated. I don't want you to deal with that. So I'm trying to give you some guidance and some support. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It is just simply surrendering and allowing the process to work itself out, because grief is a process. And it might take you a longer period of time to grieve. You just need to make sure that you are grieving. A lot of us get stuck not grieving during the grief process, and this makes the grief last even longer. And it also repeats cycles of where life isn't fair, I'm a victim, life isn't fair, I'm a victim, and you're spinning your wheels wondering why this isn't working. I don't feel happy, I don't feel beautiful, I don't feel healthy. That's because you're in the same place when we are meant to move forward. We are meant to transform. It's letting go of this specific way of perceiving what we're going through and moving forward, respecting ourselves, respecting our needs. Some days are going to be harder than others, but it's about actually taking those little steps every single day to really process the emotions. Process them, don't sit in them, right? Processing them means this is a feeling that I'm feeling, so I'm going to take the time to recalibrate, meaning I'm going to ask myself, what did I learn from this? What does this mean for me? How can I use this information as a tool to benefit me in the future? And where does this shift show up in my life? So if you're grieving and you're stuck in grief and you think nothing good happens for you, then you're not going to have your eyes out for those opportunities. You're not going to take that action to actually reach out to somebody who might have an opportunity for you. Taking tiny actionable steps every single day might get you out of whatever pit of despair that you might be sitting in. The only way to climb out of a dark hole is if you climb out of the dark hole. And that sucks. Again, it's recognizing this is a process, and some days will be worse than others. Some days it's going to be hard for you to take one step, and some days you're going to take 50 and then need to take a break. But the idea is to create that momentum by taking those small steps in healing. What's gone doesn't define what's coming, and I believe in you. You need to acknowledge that this happened and it sucks. Then you need to process those emotions and feel them. Then we need to recalibrate and try to see if we can utilize any of that as a tool for pushing ourselves into the future. And then we need to allow the process. Some days suck, some days are great. It's these 4 beautiful steps here that are going to lead to integration, which means that you've learned the lessons, you've understood, you have respect for what has been lost. You are so grateful for the opportunities that have been created from that and for the opportunities that you had with that before you underwent this transformation. Once again, acknowledge that something happened, that you have lost something, and that the grief is there. Step number 2, process the emotions and feel them fully. Step 3, recalibrate. See what you can learn from this experience. Ask yourself, what did I lose? What did I learn? What did I feel? And what did it teach me about myself? 4, transform. Surrender. Let go of the old identity that you had, that you've been living as for so long, and open up to the idea of becoming something different. And then we are fully integrated and allow ourselves to take those actionable steps to move forward into the woman that we have now become. I hope that helped.